Warning, the following broadcast, starring two of the 5 more uneducated members of the mediocre chart-racing pop rock band Massive Wagons, may contain swearing. We apologise if it causes offence. All opinions are our own.
Off we go.
Bang.
Bang.
Waffling. No, we're not waffling. Well, we are waffling, but
It's been waffling.
we're talking to you for our Triggered podcast.
We are. Welcome back. We're in a bit of a different... We've moved. We're in a different location. We've base of operations
Top
has been
secret location.
top secret location. We've been transformed back to the 1970s.
yeah, with 1970s decor,
Yeah, everywhere.
1970s opinions. No, I'm only joking.
Oh, hey! Oh, you start that. Bloody hell.
No.
But yeah.
It's International Women's Day, so
Oh, it is, isn't it?
big up all the women out there.
I got something to say about that.
Yeah. No. It's
I'm only joking, of course.
It's fantastic. We've both got daughters, haven't we?
We've both
So,
got women, so
both got women. Yeah,
they deserve it, don't they?
and daughters.
Yeah.
Like as an owner of daughters and sons, God, they're so much brighter. You know, women and just the female people in general. No, not really. Like I'm just saying, like compared, like my girl and her attitude is just so much more mature than
For her age.
For her age, yeah. Than
What's the age difference between them? Was it like 3 years?
3 years. Yeah,
3 years.
Oh, so obviously, like she's older, but I mean, even at the same age,
you're
you know,
right.
she
Yeah.
was-
They do say that, don't they? Girls mature a lot faster. Than
I think
guys,
I think almost every study going does suggest that women are.
I watched the
significantly
video.
brighter than men.
I watched the video on some sort of reels the other day, and it was no wonder I see loads of why women live longer than blokes, and it was a bloke in one of those inflatable Zorb balls.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you know the big inflatable balls where they like roll you down a hill, and it was in the middle of a road, a back road, and there was a load of lads with cameras, and one of the lads drove at it with a car and hit it. Must have been doing about 40 mile an hour. Fucking launched it. It went up and it landed in the top of a tree. And the guys who were filming were just absolutely rolling.
Was he all right?
I have no idea.
Just a.
They just bonked this guy, bunk. And it went, you probably find it.
Sounds
You could probably find it. To be honest, you make your own mind up. But there was no damage to it or anything. To the thing, but it must have made him sick because you could see him inside, and it was going like that, and it landed in the top of this tree.
I did see, and I don't even know if it was real because it looked. I imagine looking at this would it was a guy. It's a French guy, and he'd flown across the channel on like a sort of jetpack type thing, and he did it in about 20 minutes.
Wow.
He's absolutely flying. He's literally in terms of speed. He's I
Belting
think he
it.
averaged something like 180 kilometers an hour
Christ.
or something. Oh yeah,
Do the jetpack?
yeah, on a jetpack. But you watch it, and it looks sped up. Like watching it, it was that it's what the people who first saw a plane must have felt like. You know,
Right.
This can't be real.
Yeah, right.
But then there's people on the ground. I haven't verified it. I'm lazy. I didn't. I
didn't fact check it.
Didn't fact check it at all. So it could be just a doctored video. But anyway, I saw this. But they are getting pretty sophisticated now. They're rescuing people off mountains. You know, with using these jetpacks to get up there.
I saw
quicker.
the other day, funnily enough, somewhere it created the first flying bike or something. It was basically a ginormous drone with a seat on top of it.
God.
4 big propellers, like a drone.
Yeah.
It looked exactly the same as a drone, but it was massive. And this guy took off this, flying around on it.
Mental.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. It just boggles my mind. I don't know. Yeah, but anyway, that's completely off tangent there, aren't we?
Yeah. Happy International Women's Day, anyway.
Yeah. That's all the reasons. We've covered all the reasons why blokes die early, anyway.
Yep.
But yeah, welcome to the Triggered podcast. Thank you very much for still being here. Episode 19. This amazing, eh? Is it 19 or 20?
I can't remember. We've had a few weeks off because of the move.
I can't remember. To be
But
honest.
we're back now.
But we got lots of suggestions this week. Thank you very much if you've posted on our wall or given us a suggestion. We've got loads to go out. But anyway, we're going to go with this one from Glenn Mitchell. And to be honest, it's one that it winds me up. It gets my goat. Is the backlash? People hate Glenn Mitchell. People hating on bands for carrying on after the death of a member, like Queen or Thin Lizzy, and probably the Foo Fighters at some point this year. Should we just expect the remaining members to give up and let any great music they've they've made never be played live under the band's name again? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It's inspired by Brian May was talking about the grief he gets in an article. The grief he gets from carrying on without Freddie. Yeah, I mean, for me, do you think it makes a difference? It shouldn't do. It shouldn't make a difference, but it ultimately makes a difference which member of the band has died, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Well,
to the people, not it doesn't make a difference to me, but it makes a difference to the people that consider it sacrilegious to carry on. Oh, it's just the drummer that's died. We don't care getting the drummer in, but singer's died. Oh, we can't replace him.
Well, yeah, it's true. I mean, you didn't see any. I mean, I personally didn't see any of the level of backlash like that Queen get. For example, when Glenn Frey of the Eagles died, and the Eagles carried on.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. Did his son?
No,
play
it's
for a bit?
Vince Gill.
Oh right, yeah. Well,
Oh, it might have been.
because I recorded. I recently recorded off
Trey.
Recorded.
Trey Frey.
Trey Frey.
Sorry.
Please don't. But I'm sure his son played. I don't think his son sang, but his son came out and played guitar.
You know, that's
with
ringing
him,
a bell.
I think.
Yeah.
But I didn't realise he got Vince Gill.
Yeah, he's
right.
the like permanent sort of
Standing permanent guy. Well, he's a massive artist in his own right,
well,
isn't he?
they don't. Yeah, well, I mean, he's got so much caliber when it comes to playing. Vince Gill. If you're not aware of Vince Gill, he's like a country. I think he was a session player back in the 80s.
The old white Telecaster, isn't it?
And he's unreal in terms of guitar playing. So clean, just amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't get any of that kind of. We should call it a day now. But the Queen one, I think, probably because Freddie was Freddie. It's like he's completely one in a billion, isn't he? So,
yeah. It's tough. I mean, it's like. Well, you could. I saw Francis. However you feel about Francis Rossi and Status Quo, when Rick died, a lot of people said that he should knock it on the head, and then they got the head's gone. What's he called? The lad that replaced Rick, the young lad.
Oh, Irish lad.
Yeah, because his bloody face.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Brain's gone. But yeah, and they say they should have knocked it on the head, but. I don't know why. The guy died. I mean, if you don't want to go and see him without Rick, then don't go and see him. Don't go and see him then. It's not taking anything away from Rick or his contribution or what he did, by having another guy in, is it?
I do think, though, in that instance, Francis Rossi, being a bit of a cantankerous old git, he almost sort of kind of glossed over it a little bit, the way he and I'm sure he personally didn't, God, how could he not be grieving in his own way? Spent his own entire career, 50-something years doing this with him.
Same bloke.
It's mental. But yeah, that's an odd one, because that was such a strong partnership.
Yeah,
it'd be like Frankie and Benny's,
if Benny carked
it, and Frankie's still, knocking out
steaks that taste like
thunder and lightning ice creams or whatever.
yeah.
No, hang on a minute. I'm thinking of Ben and Jerry's.
Ben and Jerry, yeah. Frankie and Benny's is the Italian. Mamma mia!
Yeah,
it's the Italian restaurant, isn't it? Instead of Frankie and Benny's steak, it's tasted like an old bit of carpet. It's awful.
Well, there you go. That's because Benny died.
Did he? All right.
Frankie was the steak guy. Benny was the like the breadsticks and
the spaghetti bloke.
Yeah, that's what he did.
Oh dear. Anyway, but yeah, no, I don't feel. I also feel it's unfair. It's unfair to expect bands to stop because there's a lot at stake. You can't just stop. There's a lot of people rely on those bands for work. There's crew. There are especially a band like Status Quo. Their crew have been with them for a long, long time.
I think there's levels to this because there's like. You can disagree with it. You can go, well, I don't know if they should carry on, but then still enjoy the music and still sort of pay an interest or whatever. And if you don't want to go and see them in the next iteration of the lineup or whatever, then don't. But then you get the the ones that AC/DC died with Bon Scott, and they refuse to believe or accept.
I know a few of them, yeah.
Yeah, they are like.
It's like what? Shut
there's more of them.
Fuck up.
and
Jesus Christ,
I don't get that.
The guy died.
Yeah,
they didn't get rid of him.
No, they didn't fire him.
Bin him off.
Yeah.
He died. I mean, the band were on the crest of a wave. producing unbelievable music. Angus's guitar and Malcolm's guitar is as big a part as anything as Bond's sort of presence, words and singing. But I think bloody fair play, Brian. Whether you like Brian Johnson or not, whatever. I think he's amazing.
But why deny yourself? What is undeniably great music? When we Back in Black and
yeah.
For Those About to Rock, Flick of the Switch, all these albums that came forward, I cannot
Fly
imagine.
on the Wall.
Well, all right, kind of took a nosedive there, but I can't. I wasn't around in the early '80s, but I could not have imagined being sort of around that and going like, no, it's over. He
dead.
died.
It's gone.
Don't get it. Don't get that thought. And also a little bit more kind of on a current situation. Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Yeah. Well, they don't give a shit what anyone thinks, do they? But they now have no original members, do they?
No, Gary
Rossington died recently.
He passed away, and even when we supported them a few years ago, and they were like, even then, they were like people you would see when we announced the tour. Oh, Lynyrd Skynyrd. Are they still a thing? How could they still be playing?
Yeah.
You're like, well, they are. People go for the songs, don't they?
It's not always the singer either. I suppose it's the big characters, isn't it? I mean, I imagine, because I wasn't around then, but when when Jesus left it, when Richie Blackmore left Deep Purple, I bet that's always been a bit of a bloody, and your man in Marillion as well. That's another one, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Well, I know they didn't die. They left the band, didn't they? But it just gets up people's nose for some reason, doesn't it? And really. It really winds people up for some reason.
Yeah, it is an interesting one. The Marillion one is almost like the more culty the band, the worse that kind of attitude is.
Yeah.
But then it's almost, you get ridiculous levels like Rush. They did that first album that doesn't even sound like what people then sort of associate with Rush.
Yeah.
It's like Led Zeppelin type music. Yeah. They had a drummer called John Rutsey for that first album, and there are people who are like, yeah, I like the first album, and that's it. They're going, that was Rush for me. It's like, what? You're forgetting about the next 40 years.
They got that Pert character in, and he was just not good. Yeah. Not good for him.
But people like what they like, but to sort of put your fingers in your ears and put your fingers in your ears. I went all West Country then.
I do feel sorry for I don't feel too sorry for Brian May because he's worth a fortune, isn't he? But I do feel sorry for the crap he must get, and they're still a person, and it's still this flack online. It's online, isn't it? Just, if it wasn't for online and social media, you wouldn't know about any of it, would you? But it is weird. Don't go and see him, man. Don't moan about it. Don't go and see him. It was. Can't bring him back.
There didn't seem to be as much of a problem when it was. Do you remember when it was Paul Rodgers? It was Queen and Paul Rodgers. They never ever, as far as I'm aware, billed themselves as Queen again. It was always Queen and
whoever.
Maybe they did. I don't know. Actually, I'm gonna.
Maybe they just don't like Adam Lambert because he's some sort of young upstart.
Pretender. Yeah, that's it. I reckon that's exactly
it. Can't replace. Maybe they think because he is that good and he is a young, sort of flamboyant, big character that they are trying to replace Freddie. Well, they're not, are they? They're just getting a guy suitable for the job, isn't it?
But at the end of the day, though, the market dictates they're still selling out arenas.
Oh yeah,
all over the world, stadiums. So.
John Deacon knocked it on the head when Freddie died, didn't he? I believe. Did he play? He played the tribute concert. I think, and didn't play again, did he?
He didn't come back. I don't know if that. Maybe someone could enlighten, but I don't know if that was out of any kind of principle. Like, oh no, it's not the same with Freddie. I think he might have just had enough of touring the world. And
well, to be honest, yeah, I could understand that.
Fed up with
I couldn't understand it because I've never toured the world. But
he's
toured the UK, and that's sometimes more than enough.
To the UK, and mainland of Europe,
a bit to the top of Ireland a few times.
But I don't get it. Maybe let us know in the comments and whatever.
Yeah, what you think,
because
people have strong opinions on it. People have really strong opinions on it, whether bands should carry on. But I think if the band want to carry on, they have every right to play their songs that they've written. If the guitar player's written the songs and they want to play, and all the guys are happy and friendly, and then leave them alone. End your fascination with the band where that person died. Then don't bang your drum about it, and certainly don't have a go at them and shout and bawl online at bands for carrying on. Just ignore it. Just ignore it.
Yeah, well, I hadn't
do what they want.
I hadn't even considered the Foo Fighters thing. You know, that's
that's
imminent, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know. Is there any word on who's? I haven't seen anything.
Haven't they come? I don't know who it is, but I think they have confirmed.
I know Alex has booked a bit of time off, hasn't he, over the next?
Alex, yeah. God,
I don't think it's Alex.
I don't think that. Yeah,
they're not ready for Alex's ass on that bus, are they? They're not ready for it.
There's a few obvious choices. I mean, the Rufus Taylor, obviously.
Yeah,
'cause he's
a bit obvious though. And is that just because he looks a bit like him?
He looks a bit like him. Half his name is already there.
Yeah,
you know, it's like
it's all the t-shirts they've had printed. They'll be all right, won't they?
Well, I don't know. That's an obvious choice. Then there's like, you know, maybe they're going to do the touring, like a selection of drummers.
Maybe, yeah.
Tour.
Well, his boys are flipping. How old's his son?
Oh, well, yeah.
He's incredible.
Do you know what? I never even bloody thought that. Yeah.
How old is he? Wait, was he 14 or 15 on that tribute concert? Would he play? Would he be up to playing a whole tour? I bet he would.
Well, I don't think there'd be any question of. But then again, he must come with so many complicated emotions. Like, I can't imagine what the lads, you know, what they're going through.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? How do you do that? You know,
I don't know.
Sounds like, oh yeah, that'll be ace. But then you're thinking about what he would, you know, have to be doing out there, taking his dad's place. It's crazy. They're not going to be easy shoes to fill, though, are they? Because he was almost he universally liked guy, wasn't he? I mean,
oh yeah, it was loved. Yeah, it was a massive part of the band, wasn't
obviously, but he was
He was arguably as big a part of the band as Dave Grohl, wasn't he? It was, if you could name two members out of the Foo Fighters, they were the two you would you know, if unless you were a massive fan, they were the two you'd know, wouldn't you?
It's all about Pat Smear.
Pat Smear.
He's the glue.
He's got the best gig in the world, hasn't he?
I'm almost certain he's not even plugged in.
He just
stands there grinning.
He just wallops around the stage with a big smile on his face and going, "Yeah, fucking hates me. Look at this. Yeah. I'm not even plugged in. I'm making a fortune. Fucking hates. I don't do out. Absolutely amazing.
No,
well done, Pat.
But there, that will be interesting, and there will be people out there that do go. I haven't actually seen it yet. Maybe I've not really been on the old social media so much lately, but
people worship at the altar of Grohl, though, don't they? Is he a bit too much to go up against? Would people give him any grief?
Well, he can do no wrong, can he?
He can do no wrong. Nobody would dare stand in his way.
No. maybe this is the tipping point, though.
Maybe he's going to become the villain. The
pantomime villain.
Who knows?
I highly doubt that.
No.
Oh, bloody.
He might drum.
and play guitar. Yeah, and sing, and he'll
do everything
and bass as well, you know. He probably could as well.
Harmonica going. I saw a great little video with him the other day, and I like Dave Grohl. He's cool, and he was talking to it was the guy out of Pharrell Williams, and they were talking about his drumming, and he's like that. He's like, I'm not. People think I'm people say the best drummer in the world and all this. It's like, I'm not the best drummer in the world by any stretch of the imagination. He said, I ripped off everybody. He said, what did he say? And it blew Pharrell Williams' mind in this video. He said, oh, you know, the beginning of what's the big Nirvana song? Smells like the boom cha boom cha boom. Yeah. He's like, I nicked that from the such and such disco. It's disco. And then it cut to a clip of this band, this American disco band playing that beat.
Yeah.
And Pharrell Williams goes, flipping heck. He's like, yeah,
Pharrell Williams.
Yeah.
Flipping heck.
Flipping heck, Dave. That's exactly what he said. He's like, no, I just ripped off this, ripped off that. He said, I'm just a basic drummer, really. Humble bloke, fair play.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, well, he's an interesting one, and my personal opinion on it is, you know, you can't tell a band or anybody. Well, you'd never go like I'm trying to think of an analogy here, but you know, maybe a Formula One racing team, you know, if a driver it can no longer do the job anymore, whether he's died or not. You don't expect the whole team to just fall.
No, you can't. No, it carries on, doesn't it? You might not like it. You might not like the new driver, or a football team, or anything, you know.
Yeah, dodgy, bit of a crap analogy that, not on the ball, but you get my point. You know, it is a business.
I think it's because music is very personal, isn't it?
Yeah,
people take it very, very personally, and it means an awful lot. I imagine football teams go through it when you change players, but if a player dies, then you have to replace him with somebody. You can't stamp your feet and go, well, no, it's not you can't carry on without him.
Bands are bands, you know, and you know, they're sort of romanticised a bit, but really, you know, especially bands the size of Queen and Foo Fighters, they're multi-million-dollar industries. Yeah. You know, they employ, when they go on tour, there's trucks and trucks of people, you know.
Yeah.
It's a massive people rely on it for the
they do.
jobs and the livelihoods. And,
absolutely, yeah.
And fair enough, they could go and work on other tours and whatever. But
Yeah, no, if a massive band knock it on the head, that's a huge chunk of the industry gone, isn't it? Absolutely. AC/DC knock it on the head. Who loses out there? Flipping heck.
Yeah.
Venues, bus companies, gear companies. Massive. It's a massive... You can't just knock it on the head.
jeans companies.
Jeans.
Levi's are going to tank, aren't they? You know.
Sleeveless T-shirts. The lot. Flat caps.
Yeah. Anyway.
Flat caps.
I think it's can't remember what I was going to say now, but yeah, it's just something that people are always going to have an opinion of. Iron Maiden, like Dave Murray has been sort of saying like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be touring much in the future. You know, these are 70-year-old blokes. They've got absolutely every right to make that decision. And then the comments are littered with people going, well, if Dave Murray stops, then the band should stop. And Steve Harris is like, why? Fuck that. I think he's even supporting his own band. I think Steve Harris's British Lion are supporting Iron Maiden.
He's like the Energizer Bunny, isn't he?
It's unreal, you know.
He's got so much fire for it.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? Between him and Bruce Dickinson, like how he carries on. Well, to be honest, Bruce Dickinson and Dave Grohl, how they I know Bruce is a lot older than Dave Grohl, but how they fucking sing and play and run around like that for 2 hours every night is beyond me. Dave Grohl just gives it so much. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Well, this is the other angle to this conversation. We've been talking about people who literally can't perform because they're not, you know, they've shuffled off this mortal coil. But then there's the people that go like, well, they should stop because they can't do it anymore.
Sorry, cough there.
So why would it be different to sort of?
Well, they do get it. They do get it in the neck a bit.
Because I kind of sympathise a little bit more with that argument. Like when you see footage of, well, I don't really. I mean, there was all that footage of John Bon Jovi, you know,
wasn't there?
wailing out, you know, living on a prayer.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, not great.
No.
And undeniably kind of past his best.
Odd. But at least he's still singing though.
He stood there in an arena full of people. So obviously it doesn't matter.
No.
It's not his.
Well, it's this, I've said this before about David Coverdale. The same thing. He gets it. He has been getting it in the neck for 10 years now, hasn't he? Probably longer to be honest. But I think it's been very sort of obvious the last 10 years. He should knock it on the head. He can't sing live. Yeah, you go and see him, and you don't care. We seen him at what's the one? Rambling Man. That year we played, and they headlined one of the nights. And bar the flipping 20-minute drum solo and the 20-minute bass solo, which got right out of my wick. I didn't notice he couldn't sing. I thought they were great. I was loving it. And Stephen seen him at Download 2 years ago, and he said that Whitesnake one of the best bands of the weekend. So I don't know.
You go for. I mean, the songs are what, you know, whether we like it or not. There's a small vocal minority of people that, you know, are very not precious. That's not the word. Very passionate about this kind of thing. You know, certain members, but you know, there are a lot of people, huge amount of people, really, the majority that care about the songs, and they don't really care that. Well, you know, that's a different drummer, that's a different guitarist, or even, obviously, with Queen, that is a different singer.
Well, yeah, a good example of that is I don't know he didn't die, and I know his point was about people dying and replacing dead frontmen and band members, but like Skid Row, like they arguably sound better than they ever have done.
Oh, with Eric
Gronwall.
Gronwall.
I do apologise, Eric, if we pronounced your name wrong. I'm sure he won't be watching this, but he's amazing. He was born to be in that band.
Well,
Christ almighty.
We saw him at a festival in Finland. They were on, and
they were on before us.
They were actually on before us. Yeah,
we were
follow that. Fucking fantastic.
Great.
No, it was, and that was the first time I've seen Skid Row. I've seen Sebastian Bach in his solo stuff, but that was unreal, and you could just tell the band were like totally energized.
Yeah.
Brilliant. He's tiny. He's absolutely tiny. That Eric.
He's great. He does like flipping somersaults and all sorts on stage. He's a great frontman. He's brilliant.
Yeah, fair man. And so there we go. I don't know. Let us know what your thoughts on the matter. Really.
Yeah. Don't get too angry about it, will you? I say I go back to the Status Quo thing. That was the last time I saw it. And when Rick died, like, there's people just angry. Not just about Rossi not maybe acknowledging his death when they were playing live. But people saying they should not. No, it's not been the same. It's not been the same since the Frantic Four. That's another one.
Well, yeah.
Isn't it?
What, since 1984?
It's like, fuck off. Bore off. Don't listen to it then. You're just gutted. You're just gutted, that's all. These people do what they want. You can do what you want, can't you, in a band? Do what you want.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, let us know what you think. It's interesting.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah. Should we take some rapid fire?
Thanks for that, Glenn.
Rapid fire comments
That was a good
to
one.
take us out.
Let's see. Take us out. Greg Murray. He's been triggered by Vince Neil, and he thinks he's still a good-looking rock star.
What?
He said, "Come on." He said, "Come on." He comes on stage trying to wear those skin-tight leather pants, and he says, "Tuck that belly in, lad."
Well, again, though, arenas full of people, stadiums.
They don't care. Do they?
Why would he give a shit?
Vince Neil don't care, does he? He don't care, does he? Let's have a look. This is a big one from Tony. This could be one for another week, to be honest. We might do this one next week. Banning songs that have been played for years and years without any issues. Delilah, Bohemian Rhapsody. Delilah. The Tom Jones thing for the language. It's like what we were saying the last time with about
Roald Dahl.
Roald Dahl
Oh,
books.
they've stopped that. They've reversed all that, by the way.
Have they?
Yeah. The publishers relented and said, "All right, we won't touch them."
The Roald Dahl ones?
Yeah. There you go. And
We did it.
And it was because of us.
We did it.
Nah.
We are the
Yeah, they were-
champions. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's not Freddie, it's
Well,
me.
you can't sing that.
That's interesting, I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. No, they've made a U-turn.
Oh, now how much of that was because of the backlash, and how much of it was never meant to be in the first place, and it was all just a clever plan just to get the books back in the press?
Well, I don't know.
You know,
Again,
it's interesting.
I was, triggered. It just doesn't make sense to me. That's all. It's just a kind of like, it's just bullshit. I'm not really that bothered because I'm not going to go and buy the books either way. Really.
Can you imagine working for whoever owns the rights to all them books, whatever, coming into this office and going, Adam, we've got a job for you today. What I want you to do is I want you to go through every book and I want you to alter every single word that you think.
Yeah.
What a job!
Flag up what you might find offensive.
What a shit job, and not replace them with it. You got to use words that aren't offensive. That's a difficult. I mean, what an undertaking to have to do that.
There's obvious things. If there's swear words or words that are like insults, and it's like, we could change that. But then it gets very abstract.
Yeah.
It's like, where's the line between? Well, someone might find that insulting.
Fat or
It just doesn't make sense to me. So that's what that was about. It wasn't really so much about the bloody change. you know.
Get in.
It just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. I don't understand the point at all.
I'm gonna enjoy that cigarette.
But yeah, Vince Neil. Yeah, what?
I don't know. It's up to him, innit? Eh? Yeah. He's at least. Well, if he doesn't have his looks, at least he's still got his voice, eh?
Well, I was going to say that. Regardless of what he looks like, it's more what he bloody sounds
But
like.
yeah, the Delilah thing, that was the rugby, wasn't it? Did they change? Did they stop?
Yeah, well, what's the line in Delilah?
Is it about him killing his missus?
Oh,
or
that's
something?
it, yeah. Oh, Tom.
It's an old song, though, isn't it? I mean, what I don't understand is, completely feel free to tell me I'm talking absolute shite here and I'm stupid and thick for even thinking it. But I've always thought, I wonder why films and movies and TV programs get away with it, but songs don't get away with the same things.
Hmm.
Do you
Yeah,
know what I
that's
mean?
true. Yeah.
It's all an art form, isn't it? How can you tell a story on the telly and have swearing and have this and have somebody be killed, but you can't sing it? If you sing about it, well, you can't.
It is a story as well. You know.
Well, why can't you sing about it if you can make a film about it?
They're I brought this up before. Carrie Underwood song, country artist Carrie Underwood. This is going to have to be quick.
I like a country round here.
There's a song called "Before He Cheats," and basically she finds out, catches a boyfriend at the bar shooting pool or something with another bird, and then she proceeds to go out in the video. Sorry, on International Women's Day and all. Sorry, with a lady. That was awful. Look, I've not slept in about 3 weeks. And she then proceeds to go out and shoot his 4x4 car up. And it's like, that'll show him, before he cheats again. I've gone and smashed his car up with a baseball bat and a Louisville Slugger. And it's like, what? How's that acceptable? They made a video,
It's a bit extreme, isn't it?
Anyway, sorry, I'm going to sign off before I put my foot in it again. Oh dear.
Oh, well.
What a moron.
Yeah, please feel free to post your comments below.
Post your comments, yeah.
Let us know what you think of this podcast.
Fellas and birds alike, get your comments in. Don't cancel us, please.
See you next time.
Triggered by the